I am at the shortest I have ever lasted at a full-fledged theme park. So I'm at Wild Waves in Federal Way, Washington, and I will say this is not far from the Puyallup Fair, but because of timing of when the Puyallup Fair runs, it's very hard to do both of these places in one trip. So that's something that I will say. But I lasted longer at the Puyallup Fair, which was ticketed and only had 2 coasters that I could ride. So take that for what you will. But anyway, both of the big coasters are closed now. But I did get to ride Wild Thing, which was the one I was less excited for, but it actually turned out to be a pretty good ride, I'm gonna say. So, I posted a full video reviewing it, saying, hey, look, this is why I think this ride is better than your standard Aero Loop screw. And it's largely, hey, they have the padded seats that you'll find on Nessie and you'll find on Tennessee Tornado, rides like that, the best of the Aero Loopers. In addition to the fact that it just tracks well. So Wild Thing, nothing but good things to say about it. The rest of the park, I got a bunch of bad things to say about it. So, well, I guess I can say that their kiddie coaster that isn't really a coaster. I liked that it has single position, essentially the modern equivalent of buzz bars. And there's no seat dividers, so you can get some good laterals on it that are better than the Wild Mouse that they have here that's designed for laterals. But I'm just gonna say, with some of the policies that they have here, this is officially the shortest I have lasted at a theme park. So now that Wild Thing is closed, which is the one thing that I was really enjoying, I'm like, I'm gonna call it a day. I need to do some grocery shopping for the road. I want to go to the Satsa power plant, that abandoned nuclear power plant that I saw in a Vox documentary. Like a bunch of stuff like that. So I want to do some cool things, and I don't know if I really want to be stuck hanging out here. But obviously there was the thing this morning where they had no idea how to handle someone with a bike, because it's like, you're in the Pacific Northwest. You're in a region that is known for people biking places, and you're not ready at a theme park for someone pulls up on a bike, and that's how they intend, and that's their vehicle, because they didn't want to pay for parking. That's the vehicle they showed up with. You're just so not ready for it. You don't even have bike infrastructure, for one. And for two, you don't have employees that are knowledgeable about where to park bikes. So it's like, hey, one employee says, you can't park it there because the gate's gonna open. Okay, that makes sense. That's perfectly fine. I'll move the bike to where you direct me, and then where you direct me, the security supervisor or whoever stops me, singles me out, and says that I need to move the bike after they open the gates. So yeah, that was not ideal. And then coming in to find Timberhawk closed, and that was not even posted online. So it's like, your star attraction is closed, and you didn't post any warning online that was going to be a thing. And yeah, it's just really not ideal for a lot of the stuff with this park. But I'm not going to say that, I already was hand stamped, but I'm not going to be coming back in. I did what I needed to do. All right. But yeah, given the circumstances, given the extremely horrible communication that existed between the employees and the supervisors, and I pin that all on the supervisors for that communication, because generally it's the supervisor's fault and they're not going to take responsibility. Like, when I arrived here, there was a lifeguard who had a tough job of not letting people back into the main theme park, and like, that's a tough job, and she seemed pretty cool. But like, I mean, on the note of the supervisors not communicating, she was like, oh, I don't know what time I'm allowed to let you guys into the park. I just have to wait for my supervisor. I don't know what time I'm allowed to let you guys into the park. What? You just have to wait for your supervisor to be allowed to do that? So it's just one of those things. Like, it's just one of those things. But yeah, like, I mean, I would say it's not worth the cost, especially if you're paying for parking to come here to Wild Waves. But like, I mean, since I did not pay for parking, I'm not going to be too upset about, and I used tickets at work, which, by the way, if you join ACE one time, like for 1 year, let's say, you have permanent access to that tickets at work thing through ACE. So just thought I'd mention that as a thing that you can do to get your park tickets a little bit cheaper. It's not that much cheaper than going to their website, but that is a benefit, that you get lifetime access to tickets at work. So you get discount tickets to certain places that, like, if you're road tripping like I am, like, yes, I'm road tripping. I biked here because my car's parked at my hotel. I didn't want to pay for parking here. And it's like, you know, you're in the Pacific Northwest. You could figure out a better solution than what you have going. But yeah, like, I mean, honestly, like, I mean, I can see potential in this park if it had the right owner step up. And like, I mean, it's honestly kind of shocking that a city as big as cities as big as Seattle and Tacoma, that this is their big theme park. Like, this is one of the smallest parks that I've been to, and this is the shortest I've lasted at an amusement park. And like, I mean, I've had bad experiences at parks before. The man at Darien Lake whipping out a knife in line for Viper, getting punched at Knott's Berry Farm, that weren't comedically bad, but I would say that like those are like bad, like you want to go to security to get them, and then security doesn't do anything about it, sort of bad. But Wild Waves, I'd just say this place, it's got to the point where it's just comedically bad. So like, that's just my overall thing on Wild Waves, and the fact that I am joining the myriad of other coaster enthusiasts who are leaving the place disappointed because they didn't get all the coaster credits.